So yes, you need your diploma. Thanks for that opening joke. What a great day to be here. No, what a great day to be here, graduates. I'd be more excited. Here you are with your hand on the door for the last time, ready to run into the world. And what an honor to be asked to speak today. And what a horrible thing to do to a teacher. You realize you put me in the position of being the last human being you're going to listen to from here. It's kind of pressure-ridden, really. So I'm going to do my best. I have a great imagination. Probably helps me get through the day. Thank you for the laughter. I've always kind of thought of knowledge as a ping pong ball. And this ping pong ball has this tiny little piece of Velcro, or felt if you are a teacher and can't afford that much Velcro. But this ping pong ball, as you can see, has a very little chance of sticking to the person I throw it to. And all throughout my teaching career, I've tried to share knowledge or advice, and I like to think of throwing these at students. Maybe because it's throwing things, I don't know. But the beauty of it is, and mathematically I'm sure Shushan can tell us the odds or percentage this would stick to. I'm gonna guess in the 2 to 3% range. And every one of them that I throw, 1 out of 50 will stick. And so today I'm going to try to throw a few of these at you with my last chance to talk, and I hope that it sticks. Because if it does, I know you will have this little piece of knowledge to share with others for the rest of your life. And don't worry, if you throw it and it doesn't stick, there's another one and another one. Because once you've learned something, you have it for life. So it's an endless supply, okay? And you'll each get one of those. Now, don't throw these at people. Who knows the 3 rules that I like to share with students about succeeding in school? Come on, seniors, anybody?
Sit down, shut up, and do your work.
Thank you, Holt. Is this thing on? Can you hear me all right? Well, thank you, Holt. You realize after today, people have to pay you for your information, but I'm not paying you for that one. So, 3 things to get through high school, or junior high, or elementary school. Show up, and I know people don't like the word shut up, and do your work. Well, so, seniors, I'm going to ask you to let me apply these for the rest of your life. Because I can tell you from experience that you have to show up in life. You have to show up as a friend. You have to show up as a parent. You have to show up every day. Now, I'm not talking about show up for work, that's a given. You know, you'll get written up and lose your job. But I'm talking about when people need you the most, you have to show up. You have to put down your cell phones. You have to set aside what's pertinent to you, and you have to show up. Okay, that's number 1. Now, shut up. Not in the mean, yelling at your sibling because they're coming across the line in the backseat of the car type of thing. What I mean by that is to be quiet and listen to people. One of my best traits, as many of you have figured out, is that I will listen to your stories. Whether it's about what you did last night or something horrible that happened over the weekend. And I don't judge, and I just listen. I give you the chance to talk. And that is really what it means, is to be quiet and listen. You may have a horrible day at work, and you come home, find out your spouse has also had a horrible day at work, or your child has had a horrible day at school, and they need you to listen. So you have to show up. You have to shut up so you can listen. Okay? Third, do your work. You never know what that's going to entail, ladies and gentlemen. When you get up in the morning, you might have a plan, and that plan may fall apart because something has happened, and now your work has changed for the day. You have to do your work. I don't mean going to work and getting that deadline meet or pleasing your boss. I'm just talking about doing the work. As a human being, you have to do your work. So let me tell you how these all apply. Just a few years ago, I run to the store. It's a Saturday evening because we forgot 2 important items for dinner that night. And my wife, love her, type A, forget anything, there's no substitutions, go to the store. So I run to the store. I'm walking through the first aisle. There's a gentleman in an electric wheelchair staring at the top shelf, wanting a salad dressing he can't reach. I could have just as easily blown by him, gotten my 2 items, and left. But I decided to show up. So I walked over to him, and I asked him what I could help him with. He said, I just want that bottle right up there. So I took it down for him, and I gave it to him. Should have been the end of the story. But he needed to talk. Just anybody. He wanted to talk to me. And I could see it, the way he approached the conversation. So I stood there for 50 minutes, and I am not kidding you. I stood there for 50 minutes while he told me all about his life. He lives alone. He has no family. He just needed someone to listen. So I showed up, and I listened. Meanwhile, my phone's going off in my pocket. Every time my wife is calling me, finding out, where are you? I swipe left. I ignore that conversation with her, knowing I'll pay for it later. And all he wanted was a bottle of salad dressing. I stood there for so long that some of the girls who worked at that grocery store, it was Woods in Bolivar, my daughter worked there at the time, they knew me. They even came over and said, Mr. Limbrunner, your prescription's ready at the pharmacy if you'd like to go pick it up. I don't have a prescription at the pharmacy. They're just trying to help me along because they know this guy. He loves to talk to everybody. I said, it's okay, I'll pick it up later. So I stood and I listened to him. I showed up, and I listened. And it was my job that day to make his day better. He probably went home, had the best night he'd ever had, maybe the best salad he ever had. And I know going home, I'm going to get griped at, like big time. Because not only did I do those things, I forgot one of the items. That's beside the point. Okay? So I just ask you, as you go out of here today, you spread your wings, you go your different directions. Don't forget to show up. Don't forget to listen. And don't forget to do your job as a human being. Okay? So, ooh, did any of that stick? Should I throw a ping pong one? All right. So it wouldn't be right if a music guy didn't finish his speech. What? He's almost done? Yeah, I know. I practiced this at home. My wife was like, hey, you're getting too long. Shut up. Thought I'd share one last story. 1999, young punk from band program down at Missouri State. Back then it was Southwest Missouri State University. Took a job in a town. He couldn't even find the high school when he came to interview. I ended up at the old high school. Panic set in. My old Ford Fairmont barely got me here. But I took the job here. And the first year I taught here, there was a song on the radio by some unknown guy named Baz Luhrmann. And the song is called Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. And it just happened to be at a time in my life where that song made sense to me. I don't know why. Maybe because I was a new young band director who had a long road ahead of it. But I'd like to share the words of wisdom that writer wrote. He's an Australian writer, songwriter, composer, producer. He's just sort of a man of many talents. But I'm going to steal from him today, and luckily he can't find me because you can't find Osceola from Australia. So let me share. I'm going to do my best here because I'm a better speaker than reader. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2018, wear sunscreen. If I could only offer you one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proven by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience, and I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and body of your youth. Oh, never mind. You really won't understand the power and the beauty of your youth until they have faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at a photo of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts, and don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember the compliments you receive, forget the insults, and if you succeeded doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters, but throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know did not know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives, and some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. It's good advice. Be kind to your knees, because you'll miss them when they're gone. Oh, there's some people with bad knees. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40, or maybe you will dance the funky chicken at your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much or berate yourself. Your choices are half chance, and so are everybody else's. Enjoy your body and use it every way you can, and don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it, because it is the greatest instrument that you will ever own. Dance, even if you have nowhere to do it but your own living room. Read the directions, even if you're not going to follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone. Be nice to your siblings. They are the best link to your past and the people that are most likely to stick with you in your future. Understand that friends come and go, but the precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people that you knew when you were young. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you will fantasize about when you were young, that prices were fair, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll marry a wealthy spouse, and you never know when they might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, because when you're 40, it'll look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy. Be patient to those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past out of the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen.